Yo, what's going on? This is Mike, and I am the Sports Dope. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at that Sports Dope. And if you go to mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope, you will see a whole bunch of social media icons on the top right. And there you'll be able to find the YouTube or the iTunes link or whichever one tickles your fucking fancy, right? So, yeah. NFL Week 13, Thanksgiving, all that bullshit in the books. Coming into, as they say, the home stretch. I guess I was gonna say it's December, but those Sunday games were played in December, so we kind of had our first December games, and Monday too. Can't leave that shit out. But yeah, so let's dive right into the recap. It's fucking pretty late already tonight. It's a little bit after 10 o'clock East Coast time, and getting a late start. Just had a ton of shit to do this week. Everybody slacking on the holidays, so you got to kind of pick up the pace after that, and just haven't got around to it. It's Wednesday night. The daily fantasy podcast is probably going to be a little bit late. I'm not going to be around tomorrow night to record it, and Friday I'm driving to Pennsylvania to get a new dog. I think I mentioned that a couple weeks back, so I'll probably want to record it Saturday morning or late Friday, so apologies that you won't be able to waste time at work listening or watching to it, whichever one you had preferred. But hopefully you'll still, take 20 minutes and check it out over the weekend if you have the time. But yeah, diving right in. Thanksgiving Day, we did a teaser. Didn't really like too many of the sides, except the ones that were served. But yes, we did a teaser. It didn't work out. Dallas was the one who fucked us. Started the day with Chicago. They went to Detroit, as they often do on Thanksgiving. And they had David Blau at quarterback there in Detroit. And that kind of shocked the shit out of them. Shocked a lot of people. That game depends on where you got the numbers, how you finish that game. We took it in the teaser. The teaser won, so we moved on to game 2 of the day. And that's where the teaser fell apart. We had Buffalo going to Dallas, and man, Dallas shit the bed in public. Like the most, even though it was 4:30, like the most primetime games, aside from the Super Bowl, like that 4:30 game on Thanksgiving is usually like the game the most people in the country are watching. I feel like everybody's just done eating. And granted, there might not be as many TV sets on it, so you're not going to get that fucking actual Nielsen number or whatever. But I'm talking like eyeballs on the fucking thing. Like, I guarantee you there are a ton of people watching that game. And they shit the bed. It was gross. Buffalo smacked them around, ruined our teaser. I was kind of drunk at this point, and I forgot to tweet it out. But I took New Orleans and the under after that. Not counted towards the official record or anything like that, but yeah, that one pulled through too. So damn, Dallas ruined the tease. Going into the week, let's just recap the games we didn't bet on. We went with Miami. That one would have won. They fucking actually won outright. Philly looks like I don't even know. They just couldn't stop Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's all it was. Their offense played well. They put up points, but they just couldn't stop the Fitz magic and Devontae Parker. It was amazing. Cleveland went to Pittsburgh. We stayed away from this one. We said Cleveland was the wrong side. Pittsburgh pulled it out. Don't know how. Just every game, one super long pass to James Washington pretty much seems to seal the deal. And, they win a low-scoring game on the back of a great defensive effort as per usual. We also said Tampa Bay when they went to Jacksonville. That was the right side. Jacksonville looks terrible. Nick Foles, no idea what's going on there. I think he's just intimidated by Gardner Minshew. Like, all that fucking swagger. Like, when you're behind Carson Wentz is a ginger fucking pussy. But he's behind Minshew. Minshew's behind him, lurking. Oh, man, how do you follow that? How do you follow the Minshew? You can't do it. It's ridiculous. So, yeah. But Minshew came back in, played pretty decently, came close, but couldn't pull it off in the end. He's going to be starting this week, too, so that's fucking awesome. Love the Minshew. We had the Rams going to Arizona. We took Arizona. Boom. Wrong side. Terrible side. I should have seen that coming actually. Like after such a beat down in public, they're gonna go out there and just beat the shit out of a division opponent that they know they can and should be able to. We had the Chargers. Man, that was a wild fucking game, huh? Chargers at Denver. If you didn't happen to see this, the game pretty much ended with Denver kicking a field goal because I think it was Casey Hayward. I think his name is. His last name is Hayward, but just basically ran that receiver over as Cortland Sutton and got a big pass interference with like 3 seconds left in the game after the Chargers just tied it. Kick a field goal to tie it, 10 seconds left, the kickoff. Drew Lock throws a bomb, and then your cornerback just runs the wide receiver over on like the 30-yard line, and then they kick the field goal to win it. Fucking Brian the Man McManus. I don't know, whatever. Fuck. All right, that was pretty much it that we didn't bet on Sunday. So let's dive into what we did bet on. I actually wound up putting money on this game, but again, not counting for the official record or anything because we didn't talk about it here. But the Jets going to Cincinnati, man, I like that. I called the Jets as the sucker bet of the week. Boy, that could have been more spot on. I just did not see them coming up with it again. And they did not come with it again in fucking spectacular fashion. Next up, we had San Francisco going to Baltimore. We liked San Francisco as the dog, but didn't work out. It was, they were right in it the whole time. Could have went absolutely either way. If not for, nice Justin Tucker field goal at the end. How many times have we said that? Let's go into the teaser. This teaser did not cash, and it was the fault of the Carolina Panthers. I didn't think the Tennessee Indy one was in doubt at all. That one was fine. Tennessee, we had them with plus 8.5. No problem there. Absolutely fine. But Washington, Carolina, that thing threw me for a loop. It juked me a little bit because they were up 14-0, and then all of a sudden Washington just pummeled them. Darius Geis pummeled them. And that blew our teaser. Our third leg would have won. Actually would have won outright. We had Houston catching 9.5 against New England. So let's dive into our straight up bets where we were 3-0. 3-0. Pretty fucking solid, huh? So we had Green Bay as a lean, and oh man, they destroyed my Giants in the snow game. Great game to watch, especially if you had the right side, which I did. The Giants just absolutely falling apart. Second to worst record. And now that the Bengals brought Andy Dalton back, I'm hoping for the first pick. Give me the first pick. Yeah, I'll take that shit. And you know what? I don't even know what they would do with it. Dumb fucks that are running that organization probably trade it. But, hey, forget it. That's enough of that. We won't talk about that one yet. So, yeah, we had Green Bay. Green Bay dominated 6.5. I think it was like 31-13. Next game we were leaning on. We leaned on Kansas City. We did not believe that Oakland was for real, and they showed it for real. They destroyed them. And what else did we have? It was 9.5. Yeah. And the lock of the week. The over in the Monday night game. Minnesota at Seattle. Over 49. That shit cashed in the fucking first minute of the fourth quarter. They just were going back and forth. Touchdown. Right in the second half. That shit was awesome. Just never in doubt. Once the second half started, never in doubt. In that game, we also had said Seattle, but we didn't bet on it at all. So, overall, not a terrible week. We were up a little bit because we went 3-0 on the sides. Lost both of the teasers. But, yeah, did some more stuff that, on the side to make it even better. So, that brings our season totals now. So, again, the locks, we said, for some reason, I get so fucking eager with the locks. Like, I see something and I don't know. It's my fault. It's always my fault. So we were 9-16 with the locks. The leans, the stuff that I stumble upon, and I think like, hey, this could be something. That's where I'm a little bit better. 23-15. So overall, We are over 500 now, which is solid. So we are 32-31. And yeah, there you go. Not bad. Coming back around and coming into the home stretch. So let's dive into week 14. And as per usual, we will start with the games that we are not betting on and then dive into the ones that we are. So we're going to start on Thursday night, where we are not betting on the garbage trash show that is going to be Dallas at Chicago. I'm very glad I'm going to the Knicks game tomorrow night, so I will not even think about watching this. So yeah, this game, I thought it would probably be about Dallas -2, open at Dallas -3, staying there-ish. I think I've seen it like bouncing around maybe to 2.5, back up to 3. I think people like Chicago, but I am not feeling either of these guys right now. They both look terrible, even though Chicago just won. I don't care. It was against a third-string quarterback whose name could be pronounced below, and even though he did play well, but not convinced that either of these guys are anything special or can perform if needed. So I am just staying away from this Thursday night game, and I will probably be betting on the Knicks money line like a moron. Next game we are not betting on, Washington going to Green Bay. Not so much that I think Washington is for real or anything along those lines, but mainly because after a solid drubbing, sometimes, you take your foot off the gas a little bit, and the number's pretty fucking big, 13. So I'm gonna stay back on this one. Yo, what's going on? Sorry about that weird edit right there, but my phone started ringing as I was talking about the next game. So I had it on like do not disturb, but it was one of my, super contacts that were allowed to bypass that do not disturb thing. Should have had it on vibrate too, but so my bad, half my bad, half, no big deal though, whatever. So let's dive in and let's talk about Detroit at Minnesota, who I am not betting on either of these teams. The line tells me that's definitely not Stafford, and it shouldn't be Stafford because when you have a broken back, you shouldn't fucking play football. It's pretty much common sense. I don't understand why it would even be a question. I don't understand why he's just not done for the season. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But either way, neither of those other quarterbacks are appealing. You would think Minnesota destroys him here, but Dalvin Cook is hurt. They're a little banged up. I don't know. Staying away from it completely. Gun to my head, going with Detroit in the points, though. Next up, Indy going to Tampa Bay. I thought the game would be Tampa Bay -3, opened up -1, went to -3. And guess what? Still staying away from it. I don't know what to expect from Indy. I don't know what to expect from Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has looked better, but who the fuck knows, right? Like, who knows what's going to show up? The only reason they won last week was, Peyton Barber had a bunch of touchdown runs, and Jameis didn't throw the ball away. And he always throws the ball away. So he's probably due for some regression here. But Indy's banged up. They're not looking great. Just pretty much got knocked out of it last week because the greatest kicker of all time is a piece of shit. And, he's embarrassing himself at this point. But, so I don't know how they're going to respond. I don't like it at all. No bet on this one. Gun to my head, though, going Tampa Bay. Next game, no bets. Denver goes to Houston. Line's at 9.5. If I had to, I'm going Denver. Houston's due for a little bit of a little deflation after, beating up on the Super Bowl champion Patriots. And Denver got a little bit of moxie to them, it seems. The new quarterback type of thing does that to a team. They still got a good defense, so I think Denver could keep it close. But, still staying away from it. No bet on this one for the kid. And next game we are not betting on. Chargers go to Jacksonville. Chargers getting Derwin James back. Too little, too late. Why even bother at this point? You're just going to risk yourself in next season now. But for some reason, the Chargers are big favorites. I don't fucking know why. Doesn't make any sense to me. I liked the over of this one, but I looked at the weather, and it's supposed to be a little bit rainy, a little windy. And so I'm just staying away from it. Not taking it. And the next and last game, that we are not betting on. It's my Giants. They're going to Philly, and I thought the line would be like 6.5, 7, because both of the teams kind of look like dog shit, even though obviously the Giants way more dog shit. Opened at 8, went up to 9.5. That's where it's kind of hanging out right now. The big jump came earlier when they said that Eli's playing, so that's slightly embarrassing. But at the same time, I can see Eli putting together a fucking gem. Just to be like, yo, what's up? Remember me, guys? This guy's fucking dropping the ball, turning it over 3 times a game. I'm only turning it over twice. Huh? What do you think? Remember me? But yeah, staying away from it. But I am going to be watching for nostalgia reasons in my fucking Eli jersey. And, maybe I will throw a little bet on him. We'll see. We'll see how the weekend goes first. I'm not going to get too crazy. If I do, I will remember to tweet it out, though. So make sure you're following over there at That Sports Dope. And now, without further ado, let's dive into the games we are actually going to put some fucking money on. So, first thing we're going to talk about is the sucker bet of the week. And I'm talking about the Tennessee Titans. They're heading out to Oakland. You're looking at that line. You're seeing Tennessee minus 2.5. And you're like, yo, that is juicy as fuck. And then you're like, let me just dive into it. Let me see. And you look and you're like, yo, Tennessee won the last 2 games pretty convincingly. And Oakland lost the last 2 games pretty convincingly. So 2.5 looks like a gimme. But nah, I don't like this one bit. This one stinks. It doesn't smell bad enough for me to take Oakland. I'll tell you that much. But it smells bad enough for me to be like, this does not look right at all. Yeah, Tennessee, that game last week with Tennessee was super close. Way closer than the end of the score indicated. And Oakland plays well at home. Oakland's 6-6. They're 5-1 at home. 5-1 at home. It's ridiculous, right? So they're gonna. I think they're gonna pull this one out in Tennessee. I might throw them in some weird parlay with a bunch of dogs or something like that for like $5-10 just to see if I can win like $100 off 5. But yeah, I don't like. Nah, this one's terrible. So next up, let's talk about a dog. Right, I'm gonna talk about a dog, and this team's actually going to the dog pound. And it's the Bengals. They're going to the Browns. They're going to the dog pound. They are 8.5-point underdogs, plus 280. And I think they got a good shot to win the game. You get Andy Dalton back there. He's fucking full of piss and vinegar and red fiery hair. He's got a bunch of receivers now. He's got Joe Mixon. He's got a decent defense. And they're playing a shitty team who just lost the game that they needed to win, that they were arrogant about. So the team as a whole got kicked in the balls. And Cincinnati fucking hates them. This is the Battle of Ohio. I could see Cincinnati coming into this one amped. And Cleveland just being fucking, like, deflated. And I could definitely see Cincinnati pulling this one out. I threw, like, half a unit on it. Yeah, a couple bucks. Nothing too crazy. Like half my normal bet. So, I like the Bengals in this spot. I might even take them with the points somewhere down the road. But, I don't know. Not yet. Not right now. All right. Let's talk about a teaser. And so, the first leg of this teaser is the Buffalo Bills. I'm teasing them from 5.5 up to 11.5. And I think that this number is going to shoot up. I mean, there's a bunch of money and tickets already on the Ravens. So I don't see why this number is not going to go up to 6, maybe 6.5. If it touches a 6.5, I might even buy it up to a 7 and throw some money on it. And I will tweet about it if I do. But I love Buffalo, first leg of the teaser. I think Baltimore's been absolutely riding high and absolutely deservedly so. But I think last week might have been a little bit of a culmination of, like, just a lot of energy that went on with all those wins and all that run. And I think going up to Buffalo, they I think they could be a little susceptible. That's what I'm saying. And I definitely like Buffalo to keep it close enough for that teaser to hit at 11.5. Next one, we're going with another home team getting no respect just because they got blown out last week. And I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals, and they're hosting the Steelers. And the Cardinals are home dogs, 2.5 points. So we're going to tease them up to 8.5. Pittsburgh is not that good. If it wasn't for 2 bombs to James Washington in each of the last 2 weeks, they easily could have lost either of those games. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Their defense is playing well. They're feeling it because they got a shot, but I just don't think Arizona is as bad as they showed they were last week. And I expect them to bounce back. And I think Kyler Murray could be a little bit mobile back there, get away from, the Pittsburgh defenders, and have enough time to chuck the ball to Christian Kirk or, short to Kenyon Drake and, make some stuff happen. I think that they could put up some points, and 8.5, I'll take that. So tease it up to 8.5. And the next one, I'm going with the Rams. This one opened up at Seattle -3, went down to a pick'em. Everybody's taking the Rams. Everybody's like, oh my God, the Rams are back. I wouldn't say they're fucking back, but I think that the Rams definitely keep it close here with Seattle. Seattle's like a mediocre team with just like an amazing player, and that's obviously Russell Wilson. Like, I loved him mic'd up this past week on Monday Night Football. Yeah, dude, yeah. Like, he was just very amped. It was just very funny to hear him, like, super positive. But he had a weirder voice than I thought. I don't know. I don't know what I expected his voice to be, but it didn't expect to be like that. I don't know if I ever really heard him. But anyway, so I like the Rams. I think the Rams definitely keep it close. Give me that +6 down at the pick'em now. So the teaser is Buffalo +11.5. Arizona +8.5, and the Rams +6. So, talk about some locks, some leans. First, we're going to go with the leans. I got 4 plays this week. 4 plays I'm going with. So, let's dive right in. 2 of them in this first game, and that's the 49ers going to the Saints. This line's at 2.5. I grabbed it. I feel like it's going to hit 3, and I want it to be on this side of it. I think the 49ers, it's a tough travel schedule to go out to Baltimore, get beat up in some rough weather, go back home, do some practice, get your fucking, game plan in order, fly down to New Orleans to go play probably the second best team in the NFC. So I just think that this is a tough spot for the Niners. I think the Saints are kind of just They're ready for this one. They've been looking forward to it. They know that there's a lot on the line here. They want that home field advantage, so they're going to come out and they're going to give it their all. So I like them a lot in this spot. So give me the Saints -2.5. And I also like the over. I think both of these teams are going to put up some points. I think 44 is a bit low. I think this one could be like a 27-24, 27-20, something along those lines. But I think it gets over the 44. So those are both leans for me. So give me the Saints -2.5 over 44. Next game we're talking about a lean on, and that is the New York Jets. They're hosting the Dolphins. Ex-quarterback coming into the house. You could say that for about a quarter of the league for this guy, Fitzmagic. Does nothing but put up points. Just hitting his receivers. He loves the tight end. Devontae Parker is awesome. I think they're going to eat up the Jets secondary. And I think that the Jets are going to have a bounce-back game after that disaster in Cincinnati. Like, they were just completely embarrassing out there. So, I expect a lot of points. I think this one's going to fly over. I might even look for, like, one of those alternate lines I've mentioned before that I like to play, like, where you +6 to it for, like, like a +300 or something like that, like an over 50 for +300. I think this game could get a little bit ridiculous. I looked at the weather. Low 40s. Doesn't matter though. Fitzmagic knows this temperament, this climate. He's familiar with it, and even worse from when he was in Buffalo. So yeah, give me the over in that one. And if I got to take a side, I'll take that Miami and +5.5. But I'm not throwing money on that one. Next up, last leaning on both good knees now because I think he's fully recovered. And as Pat Mahomes, I think they're going to go into New England. I think they're going to beat him up pretty good. I actually thought they were going to be favored in this one. You know, not like by a lot, but maybe like a point and a half just to be like, I don't know, maybe even just to show New England, like, yo, you guys ain't got it no more. You know, just like fucking, just be like, yo, you guys are looking sad right now, even though you're fucking 10-2 or whatever your record is. So I actually really like Kansas City in this spot. They're getting points, maybe even by the hook. I even saw the hook like I'm in a contest at work with like, you know, fucking CBS Sports, one of those things you fill it out every week against the spread. I'm in 5th place out of like 45 people. I need a couple of W's this week. Catch up to this guy. But they had it at 3.5 for this game. So like, of course I'm taking that with the hook. Like obviously. So yeah, Kansas City, give me the 3. And so that's it for the leans. So here we are. We're at the lock of the week. And this is, I think it's going to be hard for people to hear. It's hard for me to say. But like if you remember too when we talked earlier, we were discussing earlier about how, you know, if I see stuff that jumps out at me, like that's what I made my lock in the past. But this is something that I came to after just like some clear meditation, deep thought. And I gotta say, I like it. I like it a lot. I'm doubling my normal bet on it. I'm going 2 units. 2 units on this one. 2 units. Give me the Atlanta Falcons. And here's a couple of things, right? Carolina just fired their coach. In normal situations, right? A lot of the teams will go out there and they'll like put on a huge effort and win the next week in order to show like, yeah, fuck that guy. He was the reason. But I think the guys in Carolina, they liked Ron Rivera. They liked him. So they're sad to see him go. I think we're going to get an opposite situation here. Also, Atlanta needs this win. Like, I know they're not in contention for anything, but they've been playing pretty well recently. But they haven't done it at home since week 2. They haven't won a game at home since week 2. They need this win. They're going to get this win. They're going to get it by more than 3 points. That's what I think's going to happen. That's my crystal ball for the week. And for that game specifically. But, yeah. That's all I got for you this week. I know usually I ramble a little bit longer, but it's a little late, a little tired. Like I said, we lost a couple days last week with the holiday, so at work everybody's trying to like catch up. So I've been putting in a little bit of extra time when I got home, and just And tomorrow night I'm going to the Knicks game, so I won't be able to get my daily fantasy one out till Friday night probably after I get home with this new dog, or maybe even Saturday morning, something along those lines. But yeah, it'll be out something. Worst case scenario, I will just screenshot lineups and fucking post them to Instagram or something. But anyway, no need to care. Nobody's listening right now. That's okay. If you are, tweet me. I fucking dare you at That Sports Dope. All right, that's it. If you wanted to, go on Instagram and comment, that's at That Sports Dope. Or if you wanted to, YouTube, iTunes, follow my Reddit comments, you go to mindsofmike.com/thesportsdope, and you'll be able to find a bunch of social media icons. On my social media, I got a lot of dope artwork, and that is courtesy of my good friend Andrea Fowler at AndreaFowlerDesign.com, or at Andrea Fowler on Instagram, Andrea Fowler Design on Instagram, that is, and that's Fowler, Fowler. Once again, this is Mike, and I'm the Sports Dope. I'm out. Peace.